Hello, hello, what is going on, guys? Phoenix61 here with another World of Warships Legends video. So we did finally get through the campaign au naturel without spending doubloons, right? So if you're like me, what I like to do is if I'm interested in the current campaign ship, I always make sure I complete the campaign before buying the admiralty backing, right? So I'm going here. It is the Karl Johan. Yeah, if I'm saying that right, I'm gonna guess, maybe, probably, right? So we just unlocked it, or we're going to unlock it here. I was trying to go in and see, like, I probably could have pushed X here to see the reward overview, but I forgot. But basically, like, there's two tiers of rewards, right? So you get the freebies as you progress through the campaign, and then when you buy the admiralty backing, you get that second row, or the top row, along the campaign of all these rewards. So it gave me a bunch of chests here too as we unlocked it, so I'll go and just open all of those at once real quick here too. But that'll give us the ship, and then we'll, this is a little bit different than what I normally do. Normally I just play a game and then show you my loadout if I feel like it, right? But since we're unlocking the campaign ship, I want to take a little bit different approach here, so we'll go and do the build just real quick, and then we'll go and play a game too with this one, right? So I didn't get anything cool out of all those crates. There were several Japanese cruiser crates, and I didn't get any of the new Japanese cruisers. I was kind of hoping to get one. I do have the tier 4 and 5 now for those, so I do have some games out there already and or on the way for those new Japanese cruisers, right? But so I do have this Janko Vukovic, right? I'm sure I'm saying his name wrong, but so he's the only commander that I have that's battleship centric, and I don't know if he came with or what the deal was, but I was not paying close enough attention. But anyway, he came at 7, so I'm guessing I got him from, he's at level 7. I'm guessing do we get him from doing the campaign maybe? I don't know. Anyway, so we'll use him for the Johan, and I was just kind of looking through, what to pick. I'm always like, so I'm going to go with this one here, the Reckless Gunman. The better reload. The torpedo detectability range I'm not too concerned about because you do get sonar with this ship, right? And then we're going to do a secondary battery build, or like, a close quarters / survival build, right? And I know I always say I don't really like this, the main battery switch type, but I kind of want the reload speed that comes with it, right? So you just get main battery reload as well. And then I used to always pick Properly Meticulous for my secondary builds, but man, like the Master Mechanic, just with the extra repair party charges, once you get them leveled up, you get 2, right? So like that becomes huge for those longer lasting games, right? So I always preach survivability, and then I'm gonna not build into survivability, right? So yeah, we'll equip him, and then I do have to add upgrades here. So I was looking, and so even with him the way he was, so we did pick one perk that gave us a more secondary battery range, so that 7.1 probably isn't quite the base, right? It's probably this one. Yeah, we're getting plus 9% there. So for secondary builds, I'm always using Franz von Hipper. So he's the German guy, right? So that was one that I have that commander ranked up all the way just because we're using him so much. And then pick somebody. So I did buy the Azure Lane Bismarck commander. But there are, I think there's another one that I was using before I had her, which gave you like more reload or something. So, you do you right there. And then, so we have 2 commendations for him. So I was like, you know what, you can go in, we'll buy that commander again, so that gives us a 3rd commendation for him, so then we can rank him up to legendary rank 2. So yeah, if you didn't know you could do that, if you don't, so for basically any of the non-paid commanders, right, you can go in, spend commander XP, get more commendations, and so these guys are going to be way easier to level up their legendary rank than the any of the paid commanders would ever be, right? So that puts them up to 2. I still think we only get one extra heal from the Master Mechanic perk, but yeah. So we'll do secondary mod here, and then I almost always do propulsion mod for like freaking everything. And then most of my battleships, I'm doing target acquisition. And then here, I feel like you could mix it up, but I think I'll do, yeah, like you could go main battery reload. I'm gonna do secondary battery reload. Reload's pretty decent on this for a main battery, right? So, and then here's the overview, if you're interested. So yeah, it does have, it does say it has secondary reach, and then area denial. This you get 2 torpedo tubes on each side, and I think they launch like 4 or 5, right? So, and then they go 10 kilometers. So we'll dive into a game. I played a few with this ship, so I was on the struggle bus of like which one to to put out there, because like there were a few where like we had good scores and won, but the game was kind of boring, and then there was a few where I had like really good damage numbers, like 180k damage, but then I lost. And so this is like we'll just do this. So I played a few games with this between today and yesterday. So this is the one we're getting put out there, right? So a couple of legendary ships out there, so lots of battleships, so lots of damage to be done. Should be a good time. And then I'm spotted, so I'm kind of assuming it's someone right through that crack right through there, so that's why I pinged that spot, because I was kind of like, that's gotta be where, that's the only place someone could be spotting me, right? Like, they're not out wide here. And then these 2 guys are making out over here. Alright, you guys do you. Now kiss. But so you can see this angle, obviously you don't want to be broadside, but you can see the torpedo range, 10 kilometers. So I'm going to dump them right here where, typically somebody rushing around the corner would, poke their head out there. So we see this rune. So we're going to try and get turned away because we know something else is probably going to pop up back there too. But he's even within secondary battery range. So you can see the secondaries going off already too. And then I'm going to position my camera, or my aim, the other side of my boat, and then while we use this overview camera, the turrets are turning around. So we'll get turned around if we can here. See, here's another Karl Johan. So like freaking everybody's using it, because this week's the last week for the campaign, I believe. So if you're interested in this ship, you're gonna have to plow through. So yeah, we get a torpedo hit on him, and then we're gonna get a second chance at another salvo of torpedoes here. We did get the torpedo tubes damaged for the second one, but yeah, so each one launches 4, so you're dumping 8 on each side, so like 16 torpedoes as a battleship. It's kind of crazy. So he put out the flood, so now if anybody trips him on fire, he's gonna be burning. So I was kind of hoping our secondaries would give him one, but we'll and I've been shooting HE a little bit more with this ship than I do with most battleships. But the AP is still rocks pretty hard if you get that that right shot. These guns kind of remind me of like some of the German battleship guns. Like I'm thinking like Brandenburg, but like not as bad as that. And then the torpedoes too, like I've had the torpedo tubes get destroyed on this, but nowhere near as bad as like the Brandenburg or the Pommer. Like then what that those, like, it happens instantly on some of those ships. So I've definitely had quite a bit more luck. And then yeah, these heals work great. Like just like all around, aside from maybe the main battery not being that great, and part of that's because we didn't build anything into it, right? But all around, I've been having pretty good luck with this ship and having pretty good games. So yeah, this guy, we've got him on fire now, and so he's burning. You can see our damage still ticking up because he's out of damage con. Alright, just now put it out. So I got AP loaded here. I mean, he doesn't have that much health left. But this will just go to show like it's still valuable. But I was just running into, like, I mean, it is tier 8, so, but I was running into a lot of, yeah, so we delete him, so 6 penetrations there. I was running into a lot of, ships that were just, bow tanking or butt tanking, whatever you want. So where I just wasn't getting good, broadside chances for AP rounds, so that was a decent one there. And then he sent torpedoes this direction, but obviously we're not going to hit those. I was kind of hoping this this battleship class had will to rebuild and that we were close enough, but he did not. Then we've got Yamato coming up from the back. So here I was in an indecisive point. I was like, all right, what do I do here? Like, do I go? Because I'm getting spotted. I'm assuming that's the destroyer, right? Like that was somewhat in this direction. And then the Tulsa, these ships are just out of range or just within range, and then the Yamato's just within range too. So we'll take an AP shot at the Tulsa. And then I had shot those torpedoes out there, hoping to get lucky with whatever that destroyer was doing, but we didn't get any hits on those. So we'll send another rack. And then of course now we're not spotted at all, so now he's not out there. So I don't know where he went. But I'm going to circle back around. Those guys are all sort of... I was originally concerned this destroyer was going to come in. Yeah, there he is. He went out there to fight with them. I was certain he would come in and try and cap the zone. Put the pressure on, right? But he does not do that. So we'll go and see if we can challenge this Yamato now. Yamato is going to have, he's going to rack us pretty bad if he gets a good shot on us, right? So you got to be careful. But it'd be nice here, so if I can get a fire on him, and then at some point we get up there to be able to shoot torpedoes, we can force damage con on him, right? That's kind of what I'm getting at. And then they've got that cruiser out there too that we're gonna have to deal with. So I was just originally I started heading back towards the zone, thinking I was gonna have to help out with that, and then now it's well, a Yamato and a cruiser out here is gonna, whoop this one cruiser that's left over here on my team. So let's go do that. Plus Yamato's got a lot of damage, right? Let's beat something up. This so I'm using wide angle here, but alright, when we switch to narrow, but for 4 torpedoes, that's crazy narrow, right? That's awesome. So I've had games where a cruiser, they're coming at you and they know you've got torpedoes, but they're you're rushing in because this is a fun ship to be at least semi-aggressive with. So I've had cruisers coming in and they know you've got torpedoes, so they point at you, but then you use that narrow torpedo angle and still hit them with 2 or 3 torpedoes. It's crazy. So that narrow torpedo angle is super useful and awesome. But yeah, the first game I played with it, I was using the wide angle. I didn't even realize. I just assumed that was I saw how skinny it was, and I'm oh, this is the narrow torpedo angle. All right, so we got another one out there. Yeah, so this is also why you're freaking seeing everybody playing with this ship right now, is because now that it's a couple days into the final week, that's when most people can unlock it, who haven't bought out the campaign, right? Yeah, always, if you're interested in the campaign ship, always complete the campaign before you buy the admiralty backing. That way you don't leave anything out on the table, right? So I was kind of curious where the Yamato went, so I tripped the sonar, which picked him up through the island here, which of course is not really how sonar would work, but it works in this game. We can pick him up as long as he's close enough. And then, so this cruiser is going to play cat and mouse, right? So I'm all right, he ducked in and out 2 or 3 times already. So I'm just going to, play my luck and my plan is to send this rack of torpedoes there, and then I'm going to get on the other side and send one the other way, and I'll save a rack on each side so that when he does, if we do manage to force him out, and I think he's got torpedoes too, yeah, so we got the sonar going. So we picked those up super early. So I was just kind of being cautious there too. And then he comes out on this side, right? He starts backing out. So he's going to take all of those. So we get devastating strike there, but we're vulnerable to this Yamato, so I'm like, I gotta get like the reach around here, right? Like I want to keep moving forward, but at the same time I want to turn in so we didn't take too much, you know, so the hit wasn't so bad, but he racked us more than I anticipated or that I wanted, right? But we do get those torpedoes off, and he continued to back up, so we lucked out there, and he's going to take all 3 of those. And I wish I had switched back to HE. I just was like in a, you know, the adrenaline was going. I was like, oh, I gotta get this off, and gotta get the secondary booster going, and yeah. So, but yeah, he just nailed us right through the face, right, and took all of our health, or the rest of it anyway. So yeah, I mean, Yamato is something you don't want to mess with in this ship. But if you get that, you know, those sneak around shots, like the torpedoes are the way to go. So this is kind of fun. Like I like this mix up. You know, these longer range torpedoes. Then the torpedo tubes don't die out super easy like they do on like Brandenburg or Palmer, right? Like, so I'm having fun with this ship so far. I almost feel like it feels a little overpowered, but maybe it's just because, like, you know, maybe I'm playing it right, you know? Sometimes it's that I just have ships that I'm like, this ship sucks, and it's just because I don't play it right? So, yeah, it may be some of that. So we'll see where we end up on the leaderboard. I think I got second for this game. We'll tab over, but yeah, 150 grand damage. And yeah, we end up at second, so that Z46 beat us out by about 100 XP. And then for tier 8 premium, bringing home 200 grand is great in silver. And then so yeah, I'll just quick. So if you notice when I went through the build initially, I forgot to put will to rebuild on. I didn't pick a legendary perk, so I played 2 games without having a legendary perk on. And like the first game, I think we like whooped, and then so it was like, you know, it was like, yeah, I did good, but it was like easy, and I never needed will to rebuild, right? And so I didn't like notice. And then the second game, I was like desperate for it, and I was like, why isn't will to rebuild working? No, it's because I didn't go in and select it. So now we got it on. But yeah, Porcupine, and then on second thought, just because like I don't, you know, I mean, maybe with this one I might switch between, but like usually I still have that habit of like, you know, firing what I have loaded and then switching, so I still don't get full use out of it. So we're using the extra reload that we get out of that, right? And then Master Mechanic, if we can get it ranked up a little bit more. I don't know if I need to put another, maybe I need to put another spot in the Legendary to get that up to 2. That might be the case. So I might have to spend some more. I don't think I have enough to buy 7. I don't think I have enough Commander XP to buy 7 of these guys, but I don't want to use my Universal commendations, right? And then yeah, here's how we have you know, the loadout for the upgrades, right? Target acquisition. I always call this the RGA mod. I don't, just because, yeah, but that gives you earlier detection of ships. You could pick them up earlier, so you'll spot people at 3 kilometers no matter what instead of 2. So if you got somebody in like a smoke screen or something, right? But you do get the sonar with the ship too, so I don't know, maybe concealment would be a smarter choice. Decisions, right? But that is our video of Sir Johan here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I am doing World of Warships videos every day. I think we've got a pretty good streak going, right? So if you're following the channel, I appreciate it. And yeah, we'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching.